the inherent fact that men are evil. That is true. Like man as a whole is evil. Like just as an entity, a general idea, men have inflicted violence and oppression on the world in ways that are irreparable. Like it's okay if we say that out loud. It's okay if we say that men are inherently evil. It's like it's not all men, but for some reason, always a man.
This is Drew Alfualo. She's an author, raging feminist, who's taken very seriously by a lot of media platforms and also fights against different other, not just feminist movements, but different other things like fat phobia, and also being able to publicly state that she thinks men are evil and that she hates them. What shocks me personally because we're going to listen to the rest of this, is you're about to hear women just plainly state that they hate men. And when you think of, let's say, adolescence, the fake Netflix movie about the story that never happened, that tries to paint the manosphere via hit pieces that were done by CNN and many other platforms, that men are somehow speaking up and empowering themselves out of nowhere because they hate women. Interesting. I have never, not once on this platform, ever said I hate women, because I do not. But my main point here is, next time you wonder, why is it that these young men are tired? Remember that there's videos like the ones I'm going to play here going forward of women plainly stating that they're proud men haters, have never met a good man in their lives.
Every time something terrible happens, always a man, like 99% of the time. So I feel like it's a lot simpler than people may think. I don't hate my man, I hate most men. And for me, I think given what men have done to me personally, to people I love, and the world as a whole, if they all start guilty and have to work their way to innocent, that's not really a big deal to me. I feel very convicted in that. It's very if you're not awful, prove it. Yeah. Quit talking about it and do it. Because the men who complain that they really hate hearing oh, what about all men? Oh, all men, all men. A lot of this, not a lot of action.
All right. Video 1, you guys heard it for yourself. I hate most men. What do you think of that? And in fact, before we check out the next video, we're just going to get this out of the way. Let's check out a few of these comments. Let's see what other women have to say, because many of these chicks are in support of her. Top comment here with 21,000 likes says, "Yup, not all men, but always a man." Somebody else who says, "I think Adam actually ate the apple, but blamed it on Eve. And it's been downhill from there." These modern day women hate everything godly, hate everything biblical. They've said that they hate majority of men. It's right in front of your face. What more proof do you need other than the videos that we're going to watch and this that you see right here? These chicks really think to this day that they are innocent, inherently good, and men are the ones that they're evil. Now, if she said, I think that men have an evil tendency as in man also and women, from the biblical perspective, when usually they talk about man, they're talking about the human race, then I would agree with that to an extent, that there is selfishness within us that we have to fight against. You don't have to teach a young kid how to be selfish, right? Typically, you have to teach that young kid how to share, how to be kind, because without that structure, and it just thinking it's the focus of life, the product will be evil. Somebody else here says, same. That's why they have Adam's apples. So we have Adam's apples because we're the ones that ate the apple. Somebody else here says, it's never added up to me that Eve was the first to sin and convince Adam. Your theory is more believable. And if you're wondering how that story in the Bible, in Genesis, of course, they're talking about Genesis, the gullible state of the women, we're seeing that right here. And I'm not saying men are innocent. That's not the point here. I'm saying they believe that whole book is a lie, apparently. Somebody else who says, all of us are sinners. Eve was naive. Adam blamed the sin on her. So Eve was an innocent person who had just couldn't help herself. There's no way you can actually buy that. I think both Adam and Eve made a mistake. Somebody else here says, rise of the matriarchy. This is what they want. We'll never get, because in order for you to rise, you have to defeat men. And Good luck with that. Somebody else here says the first lie, Adam. Here's somebody says, if you're not awful, prove it. Literally 5,000 years of receipts. There you go. And we have more.
How do you live at this intersection of, I hate men, I see all this terrible behavior online, but I'm with a man, I'm marrying a man. And by the way, Ashley and I make fun of men too, but we have like great fathers and brothers,
Yeah.
friends.
Most do. Most women who do hate men have great fathers, brothers, and men.
Yeah, so we do think there's like great men. Obviously, you found one, so did Ashley. But like, how do you live at that sort of like intersection of the two?
I mean, I think it's a lot simpler than people think. I think people overcomplicate it. It's just, I'm not talking about you.
Amen.
But it doesn't change the inherent fact that men are evil. That is true.
She's not talking about you. She's only talking about the men who are fatphobic, transphobic, don't reward equal outcome. Pretty much, if you're not some type of super woke man who doesn't worship the feet of women, then she is addressing you.
True. Like man as a whole is evil. Like just as an entity, a general idea. Men have inflicted violence and oppression on the world in ways that are irreparable. Like it's okay if we say that out loud. It's okay if we say that men are inherently
Wait. It's the wrong one.
evil. It's like, it's not all men, but for some reason, always a man.
Hold on. I think I got the same video here. All right, here's another one.
Your content,
Yeah.
do you think is ever sometimes like too harsh?
I think compared to what men have done to women for hundreds of thousands of years, I think I'm scratching the surface, to be honest. I think I'm tip of the iceberg. The only men who get ruffled by it are men who don't feel like they measure up. And so my bringing attention to it makes them feel even more inferior than they already do. So when men get pissed off at me, like, and they get really angry at me, it's because I hit a nerve. Like I hit something that you personally feel is not, it's like diminishing your manhood or your masculinity, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And that makes you feel some type of way. So instead of taking that shit out on me or other women in your life, go to therapy and unpack it. Like unpack.
Does this sound like a healed woman? I think maybe it's because you're just saying that you hate men.
Why you feel that way. Why is it what I said? Why did that make you so angry?
Right.
Ask yourself why you feel so inferior. No one's making you feel that way.
Right.
Like you're doing it to yourself. So like I never feel that I'm being, in fact, if there were no community guidelines, I'd be a lot meaner.
Yeah.
If I could, I'd be way worse.
Do you hear that? If there were no community guidelines, she would be a lot meaner and way worse. Now, if a man was getting on TikTok, because she's allowed on TikTok and everywhere else, and he was putting out messages of, I hate women, not like I disagree with this, I disagree. No. I hate women consistently. They would say, hey, you're negatively affecting the young women. How do you think that makes younger women feel? Let's see what the comments here say. Top comment here says, I think we could all be meaner, honestly. Somebody else here added, yep. Men would do anything except self-reflect. Here's somebody else that says, she bodies, I'm not as mean as I could be, and people don't appreciate that enough. Final video, check it out.
Something that I want to make really, really clear, because I don't think I've ever spoken about it in any of my previous videos, is that I am a man hater. Because yes, not all men, but all men in my life. Yep, all of them. My grandfather was physically abusive. My father was ringleader of all narcissists. I mean, the worst of the worst. Physically abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, the full trifecta. And then every guy that I have encountered in my life growing up, through friends, through dating, through work, it doesn't matter. I have yet to meet a half-decent man. And that's just my experience, unfortunately. 30 years on this planet and yet to meet, a semi kind of decent one.
If you've been on this planet for 30 years, and you're out here claiming that you have never ran into, she didn't even say a decent man. She said, not even a semi-decent man. You are obviously the problem.
Honestly, the only man in my life that is great is my dog. And he's gay anyway. So, yes, not all men. But Drew said it. Man, the problem. So he's a man. Sorry, but it is. And I'm happy to be proven wrong. Like, I'm a lover girl. I'd be giving out chances left, right, and centre to actually try and find a semi-decent man, yet to find one.
So you're mad that no one married you. That's what this sounds like. That you're by yourself, right? And those men, every single guy she dated, they were all horrible. They were all evil, and she hates them all. They're the problem. She's perfect. She's perfect. Incredible.
I'd love to be proven wrong. Please.
We don't. We're gonna keep you where you're at, man. I'm speaking for the rest. Please prove me wrong.
I'm waiting. I would really, really like to actually meet someone and go, oh, they do exist. Just doesn't seem to be on the cards for me. And you watch now, all the men are going to get defensive and go straight to my comments.
As you said, every man is evil and there's not one good man.
They're going to take it personally, even though I'm not talking about them in the slightest. And they're going to go into my comments and they're probably going to make comments about my appearances. They're probably going to make comments about how my ex doesn't want me, even though joke's on you, because I was the one that ended that relationship and he's still begging for me back. But yeah, you just watch. They'll prove me right even further.
They would love for there to be a one-way conversation of no platforms for men. I think there are people who are not your responsibility to save out here. You know, some of these chicks are doomed. Some of them will learn, but many of them are just set in their ways. Find yourself a peaceful person if your goal is to find somebody who does not think in this fashion at all, who doesn't believe that every woman is evil or every man is evil. But for people who've ever wondered why the passionate rebuttals to what men see consistently, which is being told that their masculinity, them as a man, is wrong, well, you see it right here in your face. Listen, to my soon-to-be married men or currently engaged men, head over to fathershaverights.com, where we assist men who need a prenup but don't know where to start. We give them information via our guide. It shows you how you can get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement from step one to the end. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.